Hey, amazing entrepreneur. I have a question for you. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you grew your audience in your business to 100,000 more people overnight? Have you ever wondered exactly how you could reach a huge audience and fantasized about some amazing celebrity sharing your work, or having a post go viral, or somehow reaching really significantly larger audiences? Well, in today's episode of the Heart-Centered Business Podcast, I'm going to share with you why a fixation on reach and audience growth may not be the most effective focus area for you right now, and how to work out where you can be applying your know-how and your attention in order to see whatever reach you currently have turn into far more sales. So this is episode number 384 of the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. All of the show notes of today's episode can be found at tashcorbin.com/384. And because it's day 4 of Tashmas, happy Tashmas, I also have a brilliant new freebie for you at the end of today's episode. Let's dive on in. I'm Tash Corbin, and this is the Heart-Centered Business Podcast. Now, before you start giving me your butt tashes and telling me that you have a teeny tiny audience and there's no way that you're going to have a sustainable business with the audience that you have, I want to start by saying that growing your audience is, of course, an important part of building an online business. It's an important part of creating sustainable sales and growth in your sales. It's an important part of the metrics that you measure in your business. But it's often the focus of marketing, sales, courses, mentorship, content, everywhere online, and it's doing you a disservice by keeping you too focused on reach and audience growth and keeping you distracted from the very thing that would create the opportunity for that audience growth in the first place. Let me explain. So a couple of weeks ago in my regular email newsletter, in the CEO spot, which is a little section of the newsletter where I talk about a trend or something that's got me particularly fired up, I talked about panic pushes. So this is a particular strategy that's currently being seen a lot online where content creators and people who want to sell generally high ticket packages and VIP group programs and services, VIP one-on-one services, focus their content online on just creating agitation for their audience, making their audience feel really uncomfortable with where they are right now, highlighting to their audience that they haven't figured it out, there's something wrong with them, they haven't got the results that they want, and making that situation feel as unbearable as possible in order to get them to make a buyer decision purely based on emotion, purely based on FOMO and fear, and purely based on a belief that the provider has access to one random little tiny secret, one little change in the way that they do business, and that will result in monumental dollars seemingly overnight. So if you missed out on that one, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to send it through to you. But I just wanted to touch on that one because this is another angle that I see quite prolific in the online business space. And what it's doing is keeping a lot of people focused in the wrong areas, and they're distracted from the very thing that they should be working on. So this has been something that I've seen since I started my business, and it's very prolific in the online world. And that is that there is a belief that we have when we start a business that getting in front of more people, i.e. more reach, will result in more sales. And because we have that inherent belief, we get quite fixated on building an audience and reaching as many people as possible. The more people we reach, the more sales we'll make. And when it comes to teaching online marketing and online strategy, this actually plays into the hands of people who want you to believe that the thing that will solve everything is your reach. I call these people reach preachers. So we've had our panic pushers a couple of weeks ago. This week, we are going to focus on reach preachers. And the reason why it is in reach preachers' best interest to keep you fixated on audience and reach is because that is something that is far easier for them to deliver on than you actually making sales. So in order for you to be making consistent sales online and to have a sustainable, growing online business, there is far more that needs to come together than just getting in front of more people. But if you inherently believe that the number one thing that will fix it is reach, then you're not going to argue with someone who's selling a program teaching you how to reach more people on Instagram. And when that person helps you to reach more people on Instagram and they have delivered on their promise, but you don't have any sales, well, you can't exactly go and criticize them for not delivering on their promise. They delivered what they said they were going to deliver. They were going to get you in front of more people. And this is far easier for people to teach and to sell than it is for them to teach and sell exactly what is going to make the real difference to your sales results. So you've probably seen in the online content that you've consumed this system or strategy on how to make sales online. And generally it's simplified into two pieces. One, reach lots of people. Two, present compelling offers. And this is presented as a way of you being able to make more sales. If you reach more people with your free content, reach more people with ads, reach more people with organic strategies online, right? So if you have a way to reach lots of people and you present them with compelling offers, then you have everything you need to make lots of sales online. Now, this may have actually been true in the 2005 to 2010-12 era of online business because competition in the online space was so much lower and curiosity about online practices, new methodologies and modalities, and being able to access providers, trainers, coaches, and mentors that we never had access before was so fresh and so new that people got very excited the moment they found someone who taught something that they were really interested in. And so back then, with such little competition for our attention online and such little competition for the dollar in different markets and in different niches, it could have been that simple. You reach lots of people online and you present a compelling offer and you get enough sales to create a very profitable, very sustainable business. Unfortunately, that is not the online environment we're in today. The online environment that we are in today has far more competition for people's attention, has far more content creators, has far more competition for people's spending, and has far more competition in terms of who is the right person to teach me in this particular space. So whereas when I was looking for someone to teach me EFT, emotional freedom technique, and someone to work with as an EFT practitioner back in 2013 when I started my business, and I could only find 3 providers in a Facebook community of 12,000 people I was in, these days, in one Facebook community of even 3,000 people, you'd find 20 EFT practitioners. So there's not just more competition for people's dollar, there's more competition even within modalities because more and more people are being qualified in these modalities, more and more people are excited about them, and more people are trying to create a business from them. And therefore, we are seeing far more competition. So in order to take someone from first seeing something of yours and finding you to buying from you, the process is far more involved. And this is where having a strong client attraction process is so powerful. The client attraction process is the step-by-step journey that someone generally goes through from finding you online, i.e. you reaching them, all the way through to buying from you and you delivering. If we simplify that process simply down to reach them online, present them with an offer, there's no opportunity for us to discern where you need to fix things if it doesn't work. And conversely, if you are just focused on sharing content for reach and then converting by making offers, if it does work, it's also harder for you to learn how to scale it. If you reach 5,000 people and by presenting them with your offers, you make 5 sales, do you reach 10,000 people by sharing twice as much content? Do you reach 10,000 people by paying for that reach and hoping that the conversion rate stays the same? Or do you make 10 sales by sharing twice as many offers in comparison to the content that you share? You can see how if it works, you don't know how to scale it confidently. And if it doesn't work, you don't know how to fix it. So by breaking down the journey into more concrete steps, we get more data and therefore more decision-making information about where it's getting stuck, where it's working, and how we can not only fix any bottlenecks, but also be confident in scaling it up to larger and larger audiences and being confident that it's still going to convert well. So I've mapped out the client attraction process in a way that I feel like it represents and reflects that journey quite effectively for online businesses, and particularly for service-based businesses, one-on-one or group-based packages or offers that facilitate some form of transformation. So you're helping people to achieve a goal or overcome a challenge, and that requires a transformative experience. So the client attraction process is less applicable to product-based businesses, so where you're selling toys or physical products. And the reason for that is in a lot of cases, you do see that journey being much shorter. So if I'm very honest, if I see a really cute dog jumper and on an ad on Facebook, I'm pretty likely to just buy it. I don't need to go through that nurture, lead generation, invitation process. I will just go straight into conversion. That works far more effectively for product-based businesses. And part of the reason why we see this focus on reach can often be because people are trying to apply product-based marketing to service-based business, and it just doesn't translate. So the stages of the client attraction process that I have mapped out and that I feel really well reflect that journey from reach all the way through to buying from you and you delivering are reach, nurture, invite, convert, and deliver. So by breaking it down into those 5 stages, now we are able to see far more clearly where people may be getting stuck and where you may need to give some extra energy and attention to that part of the process in order to improve your sales. So reach is getting in front of people, getting those eyeballs on your stuff. And that one's pretty straightforward. Nurture is about building a relationship. One of the things that a lot of marketing strategy misses out on is that we don't market using the same channels that we used back before the internet. As online business owners, the difference that we have between what we are doing with our marketing and what others did with their marketing using television, radio, or newspaper advertising is that old school marketing channels are one way. You don't get to talk back through the TV or the radio, right? You have to call in, but you are one person. You're not actually all of the buyers listening to that. Whereas in online business, we have access to a two-way conversation. And a lot of people don't actually capitalize on that opportunity effectively. And you even see online businesses where people are trying to keep their audience at bay, like they're keeping them at a distance, because there's this perception, I think, that if I let people email me or ask me questions or connect with me one-on-one, then I'm going to get super busy, I'll burn out, or maybe I will give away so much information for free that maybe they won't buy from me. I think there's a lot of fear about having a two-way conversation and a connected relationship with your audience. But in my experience in the online business world, that is one of the direct indicators of how likely someone is to buy from you, is how seen and heard do they feel by you, especially in the high ticket market, especially where you want to be their mentor or their coach or their healer, or you want to teach them something. People need to feel like they have a relationship with you. Humans want to buy from humans. And so the nurture stage of your client attraction process is where you are focused on building that relationship and, as much as possible, building a sense of a one-to-one relationship with members of your audience. The next stage is the invite stage of the client attraction process. This is where you invite people to take a step closer to buying something, i.e. purchasing an offer, and they take that step. And so the invite stage of your client attraction process could be telling people about your services and inviting them to check out a sales page and they go and look at it. It could be inviting people to book a call with you to discuss their needs and which way of working together might be the best fit for them, and they book it. It could be inviting people to send you an email with what they need help with right now, and you will then be able to let them know what you have available. And they send the email. So the invite stage of the client attraction process kind of has two little pieces. One, you make the invitation and it is explicitly towards working with you in some way. And then two, they take up that invitation. The next stage of the client attraction process is conversion. So once they email you, or once they book that sales conversation, or once they go and look at that sales page, they then convert into a paying client. So the sales page passively does what the sales conversation or the email discussion does actively. So it's qualifying people, it's ensuring they have all the information they need to make an informed decision, it's presenting and pitching the offer, and it's letting people know whether it's a fit for them or not. Now, the more one-to-one you have a conversation with someone in that stage, the higher the conversion. So where we see conversion rates of 50 to 70% with a sales conversation, we might see conversion rates of 30 to 50% with an email or DM conversation, and a sales page, generally you will expect to convert at 5%. So the more connection there is in each stage of the client attraction process, the higher conversion it is, the lower the reach you need. So if each stage of your client attraction process is converting 30% of your people, then you don't need a lot of people that you are reaching in order to make sales. And this is where so many people get so fixated on reach, but that reach is disconnected, that reach is very broad, that reach isn't creating a strong relationship, and therefore you need more of it to even get close to making a single sale. So as you can see, with the client attraction process broken down into those stages, if you are doing something in your business, if you are marketing something in your business, if you are focused on those different stages and you're still not getting sales, you are far more equipped to diagnose where people are getting stuck because you can see the numbers at each step of the way. Not only that, if you are working on a strategy that covers all of those stages of the client attraction process, you are even more effectively able to diagnose where they might be getting stuck as well. So for example, running a webinar actually covers all the first 4 stages of the client attraction process. Running a webinar and promoting a webinar reaches more people in your audience. It reaches people when you're promoting it. It reaches people with something that's free. So it's more likely to get shared. It's more likely for people to tell their friends about it. Not only that, you are nurturing that one-to-one relationship with people because if they come live, they're asking you questions and it's a two-way conversation. If they're watching on the replay, they might be a little less one-to-one in the nurture, but it's still connected. They're still giving you their attention and their time, and they're still learning something from you. They're listening to you, they are learning something from you, and it's developing that trust as well. Now, also, if you do webinar strategy really well, if they do have questions, they feel confident and comfortable to ask them of you in the channels that you specify. Not only that, on your webinar, you can be inviting people to take a step towards working with you. And if people take that step, then your invitation stage is working. And once people do take that step, then you can convert them into paying clients, right? So even in one strategy of running a webinar, you are actually covering off quite a few stages of your client attraction process. And because of that, you can then measure where people actually get stuck every step of the way. So are you getting signups for people coming to your webinar, or you can't even get them to sign up? So it's not a compelling message. You've got a reach issue. There's something that's not connecting for your audience. Are people signing up to the webinar, but they're not watching it? Well, then maybe you've got a nurture issue. Maybe there's something in there around the desire. Maybe there's something in there around they don't feel like it's quite a fit for them, so they'll watch it later if they get time. So there's low buy-in there. A lot of people try and artificially fix the buy-in issue by charging for their webinars, but generally all that does is just limit the number of leads they generate, because instead of getting 50 people signed up to a webinar and not watching it, they have 2 people signed up to a webinar and not watching it. Those artificial strategies to try and manufacture progress or manufacture commitment, in essence, actually suck out of the business the very data that would help you fix the problem. And so rather than trying to fix it artificially, fix it genuinely by paying attention to where people get stuck and learning how to discern which strategies will genuinely address the issue. Now, if people are watching the webinar but no one is taking up the invitation, you've got an invite issue. If people are taking up the invitation but no one is converting into paying clients, you have a conversion issue. Now, see how much more confidence that creates in your ability to be able to make decisions as a business owner and make decisions about what you need to address and how you could address it. Like, even just breaking that process down into a few more steps, we now have far more clarity about where people might be getting stuck and what you can do to fix that. So now that you are a little bit excited about your client attraction process and all of the possibilities, if you are wanting to learn more about the client attraction process and how to fast track your results through using one, as well as how to fast track your results in getting sales in your business, I have a new version of my very popular Fast Track Your Business training. So that is your free gift as day 4 of Tashmas. And this Fast Track Your Business training is a fresh one. So if you've done Fast Track Your Business with me before, but you haven't done it with me in the last couple of weeks, then this is a brand new, fresh version of Fast Track Your Business. And it is very up to date with strategies that work online now. It's not built on 2012 principles of building your business. It's not built on old school marketing methodologies that worked for me when I started my business, so they should work for you now, 10 years later. No, it is very up to date. It is very current, and it is focused on how to fast track your sales in your business without needing to grow a ginormous audience or spend a ton of money and time trying to work out exactly how to get sales. So I will make sure that I link to that over in the show notes of today's episode at tashcorbin.com/384. But I also wanted to share with you that once you have strategies that work effectively, so you can see that when you have reach of 4,000 people online with your social media channels, you make on average 4 sales of your VIP package each month, then that level of confidence in your client attraction process means that focusing on reach is a good strategy for you at that stage. But it is far easier for you to just pay for that reach. Now, one of the things that comes with paying for reach, i.e. investing in ads, and particularly meta ads, is that once you get to the stage of having confidence in your client attraction process and wanting to scale up to larger and larger audiences, in most cases, you haven't been spending money on ads at that point in time. In most cases, you're going from $0 ad spend to a pretty hefty ad spend in one go. Now, the reason why this happens for most people is because you aren't an expert at running ads, and meta ads can be pretty complicated. And so you need to hire an ads manager to set up and monitor and finesse those ads for you because it's not your skill set. And with most ads management fees running between $1,500 and upwards, some I've seen even at $10,000 a month, then how much money are you going to be spending on ads on top of that in order to be able to reach the audiences you want to reach? Now, my rule of thumb is whatever you spend on ads management, you should be spending on ads as well. Don't spend more on management than you do on ads. So if you're spending $1,500 on ads management, then you need to be able to spend $1,500 on ads. Because if you're paying someone that much to manage your ads, then they're going to need a hefty budget to be able to get you that return on investment. Because they don't need to just get you return on investment on the $1,500 on ad spend. They need to get you return on investment in the $3,000 in total. Because if you run $1,500 a month worth of ads and you make $3,000 worth of sales, but you also spend $1,500 a month on ads management, you're at zero. Like for all of that effort, for all of those sales, you're making no return. You might as well not show up at all, right? And so there can be this big gap that shows up for people in that they don't want to jump from $0 spend on ads to $3,000 in one go. That feels risky. And so you can invest time and energy and money in learning how to run ads. There are some great courses out there that are available, but in most cases, the reason why you want to put money into ads is because time is a resource that you would rather not invest. And so you kind of end up stuck. You don't want to jump into spending a lot of money on ads. You don't want to spend, say, over $500 to $1,000 a month total. But you also don't have the time or the inclination to become an ads expert. Well, I am teaching at the Heart-Centered Virtual Business Conference a fabulous strategy on how to use ads that you run yourself without having to learn a bunch of stuff. Very simple ads to bridge that gap between zero ad spend and hiring an ads manager. And the strategy that I teach is called the boosty posty. Now, most ads managers out there will tell you that the worst thing you could possibly do when it comes to running ads is use the boost post button and do a boosty posty. But a lot of them are just saying that because it's in their best interest to make you afraid of the boost post. Some of them are saying that because they see people use the boost post button, but they don't actually make enough adjustments in their boost post for the ad to be optimized, or they boost the wrong type of post or for the wrong objective. There are some simple rules that we do follow when it comes to doing a boost post. But in my experience, and with the dozens of people that I've used this strategy with over the last few years, using boost posts selectively not only scale up your results that you are achieving from your activities and your marketing online without costing you a bunch of time and without risking a ton of money, but also they move you closer to readiness to invest in ads with an ads manager anyway. And I have spoken to several ads managers over the last few months where I'm saying to them, like, it is not in your best interest to keep saying that boost posts don't work and that boost posts are the worst thing to do. You're actually stopping people from ever being ready to invest in ads with you. Or if they do make that leap from $0 to $3,000 by hiring you straight out of the gate, think about the pressure that's going to put on you as an ads manager to get results in the first month. Because if they spend $1,500 on ads management and $1,500 on ads in the first month and it doesn't result in audience growth and sales, they're going to really question whether they want to continue. That is a lot of money to risk for very little result. Whereas if people can, through self-managed ads that don't take time and you don't need to do courses to learn, can get people signing up to their webinar and converting into paying clients, wouldn't that be in your best interest as an ads manager to encourage them to play around with that and build that confidence? I think it is. So what I'm doing is I'm presenting a workshop at the Heart-Centered Virtual Business Conference called Boosty Posties. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through the 3-step strategy that I have to use boost posts as an effective way to grow your results and grow your audience without having to spend more than $500 a month maximum. So the stage 1 ads are $150 a month. Stage 2 ads takes you to $300 a month, and stage 3 ads goes to $450 a month. So it's $150 per each stage. It's a layer of 3 different ad types. And once you're spending $450 to $500 a month consistently, if it's working, right, and you're getting it working, then you can scale that up and increase that slowly and slowly over time. And once you get to the point where you're spending over $500 a month on boosty posties, I would argue it's time to transition into, okay, now this has netted me some money and it's making me sales. I'm ready to invest in working with an ads manager. So if that is something that interests you, I would encourage you to get your ticket to the Heart Center Virtual Business Conference. You can use the coupon code POD50 at checkout to get yourself $50 off your ticket. The conference starts in 2 days. It's on the 6th and 7th of March. And I will make sure I put all the links and the coupon code over in the show notes for you at tashcorbin.com/384. So there are 2 things that you get to check out today as for day 4 of Tashmas, which is the Fast Track Your Business freebie training and coming along to virtual conference to learn how to boosty posty. If you've got any questions about those, please do make sure that you get in touch. I will have a post on my Facebook page today that is focused on day 4 of Tashmas, and that is your opportunity to ask me any questions. It's an Ask Me Anything about the client attraction process, organic growth of your reach, and organic growth of your sales, and boosty posties as well. So come on over to tashcorbin.com/384. You'll find all the links there, as well as links to your gifts. And until next time, I cannot wait to see you shine. See you tomorrow for day 5 of Tashmas. Bye for now. Would you like more tips, tools, and resources to help you grow your heart-centered business? Head to tashcorbin.com today.